Project management. What is project management? Project management is a technique or methodology used to achieve objectives in an estimated time. This method of organizing and planning work pursues fundamental objectives in any organization like efficiency, productivity, cost, and time reduction, synergies, compensation of resource, control, order, and a continuous evaluation of results, among many other things. The main objectives of project management are productivity increase, effectiveness results aimed at customer requirements, risk control, and management of cost and deadlines. How to manage projects? To comply with these advantages, the administration of the project maintains project phases considered key for the successful execution. These phases, according to the Project Management Institute, the PMI, are 5 and like start, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. In the start phase, we analyze risks, decide resources, and the scope of the project to determine its viability. In the planning phase, we obtain the optimal work route to achieve the project objective. In the execution, the subtasks are detailed and the action is taken. In monitoring and control, we achieve a continuous monitoring essential when you talk about project management. Therefore, there are techniques such as earned value that makes it possible to continue to monitor the evolution work. And finally, the closing. Are customer needs met? Have we achieved the proposed objective? Now we only have to take note of the lessons learned and decide whether this project shall be converted into a process for its reuse. The structures of project management. First, we have the functional project structure. The functional organization structure brings together people who perform similar tasks or who use the same kind of skills and knowledge in functional groups. In this structure, people are managed through clear lines of authority that extend to each group to the head of a group and ultimately to a single person at the top. The projectized organization structure groups together all personnel working on a particular project. Project team members are often located together and under the authority of the project manager for the duration of the project. The project manager has almost total authority over the members of our team in the project's structure. Makes assessments and directs team members, task force, and controls the project budget. Conducts team members' performance assessments and approves team members' raises and bonuses. Finally, the matrix project structure. With increasing frequency, projects involve and affect many functional areas within an organization. And as a result, personnel from these different areas must work together to successfully accomplish project work. The matrix organization structure combines elements of both functional and projectized structures to facilitate responsive and effective participation of people from different parts of the organization on projects that meet their specialist expertise.
Objectives. What are project objectives? Project objectives are goals, plain and simple. These are the business objectives that you want the project to accomplish. Project objectives must be measurable and contain key performance indicators that will be used to assess a project success. General objective. The general objective must present the central idea, stating succinctly and objectively the purpose of the project and the goal to be achieved. In other words, the general objective synthesizes the hypothesis or problem to be solved, points out the purpose of the project and defines the subject. Specific objectives. The specific objectives are directly related to the general objectives, detailing the processes necessary for their realization. In this way, the specific objectives serve as a guide to how the work will be approached. Methodologies for setting project objectives. SMART objectives. These are easily replicable through your team's processes, and they are so widely known. They are also simple to communicate to others. Specific. This involves describing the objective by answering the question what, why, when, who, where, to leave the stakeholders in a notebook as to what the goal is. Measurable. An objective should have metrics and specific values that can be used to monitor and assess success. Attainable. The goals should be something possible for the team to achieve, otherwise they are easily dismissed or can become a point of demotivation. Relevant. Objectives should fit the focus and long-term plan of the organization or team, so that each objective achieved is a step towards overall goals. Team-based. The aim should be to achieve the project objectives within a certain time frame. OKR. The OKR framework was initially developed by Intel, is now used by tens of thousands of companies, especially technology giants such as Google, LinkedIn, and Oracle. The process of setting OKRs is as follows. Objectives. Highlight 3-5 objectives for your team or organization. These should be ambitious, yet also achievable and time-bound. Key results. Under each of these, highlight 3 results which will define success. These should be easily quantifiable and the difficult bound to the limits of what you believe is achievable. Once you have set this, at the end of the set time span, you need to measure how successful you were at achieving each of the key results. This is done on a scale of 0-1 with a success rate of 60%, 70% being generally viewed as the desirables.
Scope. What is the scope of the project? The purpose of the scope of a project is the clear, simple, and concrete determination of the objectives that will be achieved throughout the development of the project in question, the fulfillment of which will generate the successful completion of said project. This scope is equivalent to the concept of objective science, both must be framed within the context of the SMART criteria related below. Specific must be specific and uncontroversial. Measurable. The scope must be measurable. Achievable must be achievable within the parameters of empirical reality. Realistic must be able to be generated in a feasible manner within the stipulated time frame and with the use of available resource. Time related. It is necessary to delimit the time span of the project duration. Steps to define the project scope. These steps will help you create the project scope statement in a professional manner. Write a brief justification of the reasons for implementing the project. This explains the functional scope of a project. Describe the scope of deliverables. It is important to identify the characteristics of the results we expect. Establish the criteria what defines when the results of the activities are ready, meet the conditions and are suitable for delivery. Specific project objectives. It is what is known and deliverables the very results of the activities that they expect to meet in the timeframes that we define. Quality in an IT project. It's one of the parts of a project that can be neglected plan criteria and method of implementation and sufficient means to warranty control are elements to be provided. The project manager is together with the quality manager who will ensure that delivers meet the required standards and the final results is delivered under optimal quality conditions. The case to quality assurance. Learning from others. It might be interesting to draw inspiration from the project quality assurance methods applied in the organization in previous projects or by those implemented by others companies with good results. Sharing experience. It is often sharing to have the option of others and to achieve this. Nothing better than to write and publish a quality control case study informing about the approach and protocols in place. Adapt to the means available in any project. Resources are limited, and these constraints limit the possibilities for quality assurance. The aim is to do the best with the resources you have, keeping up to date on quality, staying abreast of the national and international trends, improves decision making in quality assurance. Within Horizon, sometimes the application of quality assurance policies offers better results than when the focus is not restricted to the project.
Project calendar. The concept of the project calendar refers specifically to the particular calendar in which the project is outlined and underlined via a few specific mechanisms. One key element is that the project calendar features the working days of chief whose inclusion on the calendar firmly establishes the particular dates. Advantage of project schedule planning. Determine all the activities necessary to make the objectives are realistic. Help to determine a logical order. Establish the times and assign responsibilities in the teamwork. Analyze what resources are needed to carry out the activity. Tools for developing the schedule of the activities. To develop a schedule, you will need to use the following techniques and tools. Estimation of time starting from the EDT, logical sequence of activities, network diagram to visualize the dependencies and calculate the total duration of the project. Critical route, the one that goes from the beginning to the end of project, takes more time compared to other routes and has no space between activities. If any activity on this route fails, the project will be delayed. Tools for developing the schedule of activities. Gantt diagram, graphical representation to show the expected time for activities throughout the project. Each activity is represented from its beginning to its end. Compression, optimization of a schedule through the reduction of duration with techniques such as crunching or fast tracking.
Life cycle. Definition. The project life cycle defines the phases that connected the beginning of the project with its end. A life cycle for a project consists of successive phases composed of plan and task. Phases of project. Initial phase. This is the stage where the idea is born. The project is formulated by analyzing the key points. Favorable decisions are made to initiate the project activities. Goals are established, the main appointments and resources allocation are made. Intermediate phases. Organizational phase. It completes the period of planning and devising the best way to make what what was proposed in the conceptual phases are related. The organization is designed and constitutes the project team, resources are sought, and the master plan and detailed activities are made. Final phase, completion phase. This is the period in which activities are completed, contracts are closed, resources and commitments are transferred to other organizations, implementation is carried out, etc. Characteristics of a project's life cycle. A project life cycle defines what technical work should be done in each phase. For example, in what phase should be the web designer work be done? When should the deliverable products be generated in each phase, and how is each deliverable product reviewed, referred, and validated? Who is involved in each phase? Current engineering requires analysis to be involved in the requirements and design phases. How to control and approach each phase. Risk matrix. What is the risk matrix? A risk matrix is a simple but effective tool to identify the most important risks inherent in the activities of a company, both in processes and in the manufacturing of products or commissions or service. Therefore, it is a valid instrument to involve the risk control and safety of an organization. What is this for? So the instrument has subject and global diagnosis of companies of different size and sector of activity can be made. Likewise, through the risk matrix, it is possible to evaluate the effectiveness of risk management, both financial and operational strategies that are impacting the mission of a given organization. How to make it? Risk identification. The first step is to identify the main activities of an organization and the risks inherent to them. In general, risk can be understood as the possibility that it is impossible for a company to meet any of its objectives. 2. Evaluate the probability that the risk ends up conforming. The next step will be to determine the probability that the risk actually occurs, as well as a calculation of the potential effects of the risk. It is therefore a risk valuation, which implies a joint and integrated analysis of the probability of occurrence and the effect of the overall result of the company. 3. Perception of the risk matrix. The true utility of the risk matrix is that it offers the probability of having a general idea of the risk of a company and the possibility that there occur could be taking a look. In conclusion, a risk matrix is a very interesting control and management tool to identify business activities, associating them with risk differentiated by type and level on to the exogenous and endogenous factors related to this risk. This allows the organization of a comprehensive risk management.
Budget. Budget definition. A budget identifies the planned expenditure of project. This is used as a baseline against which the actual expenditure and a predict eventual cost of the work can be reported. The three major components of a budget are the base cost, contingents, management reserve. The base cost estimate is made up of new costs such as resourcing, accommodation, consumable, expense, capital items. Cost of value possibly attributes they might be directed, indirected, fixed or variable. Directed cost exclusive the REIT program or portfolio, which include resources directly involved on deliverable and the Managing the work. Indirect costs include overheads on their charges may be shared and cross multiple activities or different departments. Fixed they remain the same regardless of the much output in achieved, such as the portion and the item of the plant or machinery. Variable costs which is salary factor depending on the mood resources in use. How they generate the project budget. There are fixed pieces information that will need to the preparatory your budget activity cost estimate basic scope baseline project schedule resources calendar contract. Activity cost estimate. They are the individual cost estimate for each activity the work package that your project will complete. For each activity the cost estimate generally includes direct labor, materials, equipment, service, facility, and information technology. Estimate basis. Estimate basis documents support details about activity cost estimate. For example, how the estimate were made, supporting the contract and the confidential label on each estimate. The scope baseline. The scope baseline will let you know if there are any foundation contract that they be made be your organization contract or the other group such as government agencies. Project schedule. The project schedule will be used the determination of the cost object over time for the specific calendar period. You can combine the activity costs that are the planning for the period to determination the time phases budget. Resource calendar. Resource calendar will let you know which resources are assigned the project and when they are assigned using rates for their resources and combining the project schedule you can the determination resource cost over time. Contact. The contact of the project of service will be used to determine the cost and can the include of the project budget. Communication plan. What a project communication plan? A project communication plan is a simple tool that enables you to communicate effectively on a project with your client, team, and the other stakeholders. It's a clear guideline for how information will be shared and will have responsibility for and needs to be logged in each project communication. Why a project communication plan is important? A communication plan plays an important role in a project by creating which communication everyone can turn to, setting clear expectations for how they and when updates will be shared, increasing visibility of the project and status, providing opportunities for feedback to be shared, boosting the productivity of team meeting, ensuring the project continues to align with goals. Creating communication methods. There's no single right way to communicate on a project. In fact, your communication plan can include a variety of the communication methods. What are the things to consider? Email, meeting in a person phone or video chat, discussion boards, status report, collaboration apps, to-do lists, surveys. How to write an opportunities communication plan? Writing a project management communication plan is as simple as following the 5 steps. Make a list of your project communication needs, define the purpose, choose the method of communication, establish the cadence for communication, identify owner and stakeholders.
COVID. What is COVID. COVID stands for Control Objectives for Information and Related Technology. It's a framework created by the ISACA, Information System Audit and Control Association for IT Governance and Management, designed to be a supportive tool for managers and allows bringing the crucial gap between technical issues, business risk, and control requirements. The COVID business orientation includes linking business goals with its IT infrastructure, preparing various maturity models and metrics that measure the achievement while identifying associated business possibilities of IT processes. The main focus of COVID was illustrated with a process-based model subdivided into 4 specific domains, including planning and organization, delivering and support, acquiring and implementation, and monitoring and evaluating. The components of COVID. First, we have the framework. It helps in organizing the objectives of IT governance and bringing it to best practices in IT processes and domain while linking business requirements. Process descriptions. It's a reference model and also acts common language for every development organization. Process descriptions include planning, building, running, and monitoring for all IT processes. Control objectives. These provide a complete list of requirements that have been considered by the management of effective IT business control. Maturity models. Assess the maturity and the capability of every process while addressing the gaps. And finally, management guidelines. This helps in better assigning responsibilities, assuring performance, agreeing on common objectives, and illustrating better relationships with every other process. Why use COVID? New research demands, industry-specific relations and risk scenarios emerge every day. Maximizing the value of intellectual property, managing risk and security, and ensuring compliance through effective IT governance and management has never been more important. No other framework focused on enterprise IT offers a breadth of benefits of COVID. It helps enterprise all sizes maintain high-quality information to support business decisions, achieves goals through the effective, innovative use of IT, achieve operational excellence through reliable, efficient application of technology, maintain IT-related risk at a sectoral level, optimize the cost of IT services and technology, and supporting compliance with relevant laws, regulations, contractual agreements, and policies. Who uses COVID? COVID is generic and useful for enterprises for all sizes, whether commercial, not-for-profit, or in public sector. COVID is used globally by those who have the primary responsibility for business processes and technology, depend technology for reliable information, and provide quality, reliability, and control information and related technology. Key COVID users include enterprise executives and consultants in the following areas like audit and assurance, compliance, IT operations, governance, security, and risk management.